Patrol agents are on high alert after a shooter opened fire on officers on the streets of Chicago. The Department of Homeland Security saying a suspect shot at agents from a car window on Saturday afternoon. How scary is that? Before this person sped away from the scene, that shooter is still at large. And it's only the latest in a string of attacks targeting border and immigration authorities. According to the DHS, death threats against ICE officers are up 8,000%. Joining us for more on how authorities are being impacted is Sheriff Mark Dannels of Cochise County, Arizona. Thank you very much for joining us. I always appreciate it when you join us from the field. You're literally like boots on the ground, doing your job and taking the time to talk to NewsNation, so we appreciate that. So let's talk about this issue at hand. I mean, this is some really scary stuff that's going on in Chicago. Your thoughts on the Border Patrol shooting?
Well, thanks for having me again, Laura. And let me just say this. Since last time I spoke to you, and as every day goes by, it only gets worse. Somebody, especially those in law enforcement that are not playing politics, they're out there doing the job they were hired to do, are under assault. They're under attack. As your stats show, we see it. I mean, now we're shooting at the law enforcement. You got to ask the question, where is the community leaders? What I don't hear is the mayor. I don't hear the governor of that state, or even back, members of Congress stepping up and saying, I know they can't balance a budget right now, but where are they when it comes to supporting those that are protecting this country? We're not hearing that, Laura. And until we do, this is going to be worse and worse for those ICE agents, Border Patrol agents. And I'll say this, America's sheriffs, the majority of American sheriffs is not 100% stand behind that rule of law with our federal agents.
And, you know, you're talking about these agents being shot at. What about the person going to the grocery store that might be caught in the crosshairs here? I mean, that's what's so scary about all of it. And of course, our law enforcement officers on the street. And just this morning, NewsNation's Allie Bradley confirmed an internal alert being sent around that the Latin Kings gang is authorizing a shoot-on-sight order for any ICE agents involved in that Operation Midway Blitz that's happening in Chicago. I mean, when you hear that and to get that internal alert and to know that that is what's going on behind the scenes, I mean, what do you say to that? This new alert is following the rising trend of violence against officers. So I'm just wondering, as you're out there in the field right now, have you and your officers felt an increased danger on the job? It sounds like you have.
We have. And that's the thing. This is not just about Chicago. This is countrywide. You know, last 4 years, when the former administration, we had the open border, we had the attacks on law enforcement, and the federal agents, Border Patrol, ICE, sheriffs, police chiefs, we all stood together as one big team. That's not going to change now that's in the urban areas. And here's the thing, this is an attack on our democracy too, on the rule of law. What bothers me is the fact that why are we not focused on this evil? Because we're promoting and enabling these leaders that have turned their backs, they're protecting politics and party over people. We all were elected to protect this country and the people within. This is amazing what's going on in this country. And it bothers me, it disappoints me, and it frustrates me, Laura.
Yeah, and here in New York, Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani warning ICE agents that they will be held to the same standard of the law, hinting that he may try and put a stop to the controversial ICE raids that we've seen in the city. I'm sure you've seen that. So when you hear that, how do Mamdani's statements impact officers' safety when you take that part of it here in New York? You know, it feels like there could be a risk that this will make people feel emboldened against immigration authorities. Instead of, you know, dialing down the rhetoric, some people say that he's turning it up.
Well, he is. One of his first statements as a newly elected mayor, not even taking office, is saying he's going to oppose Trump, the president of the United States. What's next? We're going to oppose FBI, DEA, ATF. Why are we taking one segment? Because of political ideologies that's more important than the rule of law. I can't get away from that. I've done this 4 decades, but I've never seen this in my career, that we have mayors, local law enforcement say we're not going to work with the federal government. The federal government provides a resource as long as we're working collectively and it's within the rule of law. I don't understand this, but we have to come together here because every day goes by, it gets worse, and we're putting our communities in harm's way. And second of all, we're putting those who wear a badge and took an oath protect you and I, Laura.
Sheriff Mark Dannels, thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you will come back on the program. Please, to you and your crew, stay safe, and we will talk to you again soon. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.